finding length through the spine, tucking the chin slightly, lengthen the back of the neck. Strengthen the spinal area, and then a softness and an openness across the chest. And then from here, we'll just simply take 3 rounds of deep belly breath. So as you're ready, breathing in through the nose, filling up through the belly, the ribs, the chest, and then holding it at the top. And then releasing the air slowly through the nose, all the way out to the very bottom of that exhale. Nice, 2 more rounds when you're ready. Deep, expansive inhale. Holding it at the top. And breathing it out. One more round here. Biggest breath yet. Big inhale. Holding it at the top. And then breathing all of the air out. Really nice. Just let that breath return to a natural rhythm now. We'll warm up really briefly through the wrists. We will have quite a few holds on our wrists this morning, so we'll make sure they are ready to wait there. Simply circling through fingers one way and then back the other. Give this hand a little shake out, and then we'll simply find a little twisty motion side to side here with the upper body. So nothing too major, just sort of twisting side to side. Is that volume okay still? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, perfect. So just a little spinny side to side there. Okay, and then we'll rock on to tabletop, into tabletop, hands and knees. And again, just some little bit for the wrists, so some gentle circling around in your tabletop position here. Moving as fast or as slow as feels good for you. Going to warm up those joints in one direction, and then we'll take that rotation back the other way. Awesome. And then from here, building a little more heat in the wrist. So what we're going to be doing is popping up onto the 4 fingers, so sort of lifting the heel of the hand, popping up onto the fingers, and then controlling the descent of the heel of the hand back down. So popping up and then controlling down. The thumb kind of stays connected with the mat here. The focus is on coming up onto that lower knuckle region of the 4 fingers. And at first you might think, what on earth are we up to here? But very quickly, you will start to notice a fair bit of heat building in the wrists and the forearms. And then if we start to speed this up a little bit, it should get quite intense. So we're going to try and go for about 15 more here. Continuing to breathe. Nice. Such a powerful exercise for getting that wrist and forearm region strong. Really good for inversions, anything weight bearing. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Ooh, well done. And coming back, shake that out. Perhaps you'd like to turn the fingers to the outsides of the mat or towards you. Give them a little stretch there. And then when you're ready, finding your cat-cows. Inhale, drawing shoulder blades towards each other, scooping tailbone to sky. And then exhale, pressing round chin to chest. Moving through here at your own rhythm, your own pace. We are still warming up here. Likelihood is most of us are not long out of bed, so perhaps make this a larger spinal warm-up here, coming into the hips, the shoulders, just doing whatever feels good as you wake the body up here. Really nice. And then whenever you're ready from here, we'll come back to neutral, tuck those toes, find cow with the spine, so rounding shoulder blades apart, and then tuck the toes, send those hips up and back, and press the thigh bones in towards downward facing dog. And when you arrive there, once again, peeling through the feet, swaying through the hips, doing whatever allows you to create a little more spaciousness within this pose. And then finding your power and stillness here. So coming to a static hold, pressing through the fingers, particularly the index finger and the thumb. Thinking about drawing inner elbows in towards each other here as we press in and out of the shoulders. And then hips towards sky, heels towards earth. Feel free to bend those knees as much as you need here. And then experiment here with pushing the hands and feet away from each other, like you're trying to tear the mat in two. Noticing what muscles that turns on in the body. And then the opposite, trying to draw the hands and feet towards each other here, putting a little lump in the middle of your mat. Noticing what muscles that turns on. And then finding about 50% between each of those actions, where we're recruiting all of those muscles to about 50% of their capacity. Nice, deep, energizing breath in here. And as we exhale, pushing through the balls of the feet, unraveling the spine, finding your high plank pose. And of course, feel free to drop the knees here if you need that support. Otherwise, again, think cat, with the upper back, so rounding shoulders apart. And then lengthening crown of the head, heels away from you, pressing index fingers into floor. One more big breath in here, hug navel to spine. And then exhale, send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Two more here. Inhale, unravel forward, finding your plank. Exhale, sending it back, downward facing dog. One more round. Inhale, unravel and hold it. And then this time we'll lower all the way down to the mat, elbows pushing the body here as we come onto the pocket. Hands can come just alongside the floating ribs, hugging those elbows in. We'll find 3 rounds of cobra. So inhale here, think shoulder blades towards each other. Checking that this is a power variation of this pose by perhaps hovering the hands here, pressing the feet into the mat, making sure we're really using those spinal muscles. And then exhale, lower forehead to mat. 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up, shoulder blades towards each other, perhaps hovering the hands. And then exhale down. Final round here. Inhale, lift. Perhaps you can come a little bit higher. Exhale, lower. And then pressing up through your tabletop, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Really nice. Looking towards the front of the mat now, we'll tiptoe, we'll step, or we'll hop forward. Inhale when you arrive and find a halfway lift. As you fold, sigh it out, let the head hang heavy. And then ground to rise all the way up to standing, arms coming up above the head. Connecting palms and bringing them through to heart center. Nice. Okay, I'm going to get my stopwatch timer, same thing, Alex. Get my timer started here. As we inhale, raise those arms up. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale here to lift. And then setting up for your high plank pose. This is the first of our static holds today. And this first round, we're here for a minute. So establish your pose. Remember that knees are an option if this gets too much. We definitely want to prioritize form. And then once you're there, again, finding that cat shape with the upper back. So there is that slight rounding. Hugging the navel into center. Thinking about drawing inner elbows in towards each other. And then finding that drishti, that focus point out beyond your mat. Nice, we're over halfway here, yogis. So can you tap into your breath now as your source of power as you breathe in through the nose and breathing it out. We've got 10 more seconds. Finding that inner power, that inner strength, big breath in. Nice, and then as you breathe out, push it back, downward facing dog. Well done. Awesome, everybody. Okay, looking forward towards the front of the mat. We'll step the feet forward. And then once again, find an Uttanasana halfway lift, and we're going to hold this position now. Now, often we can treat this pose just like a transition, like we're moving through in order to get to the next. But when we actually become really attuned and aware, it can be a very powerful pose in itself. So as you're here, find a little mini micro bend in the knee. Find that length through the tailbone and the crown of the head. And then can you knit the lower ribs towards each other here to turn that core on? And then think shoulder blades towards each other. So we've got that opening in the spine. And for an extra little bit of a core challenge here, we can reach one arm forward and the other arm back. Or we can reach both arms forward here, kind of like a warrior three situation. If you've got one arm forward and one arm back, switching now. Nice, and then big inhale here. And exhale as you sigh, fold it forward. Lovely. Head hangs heavy. Ground down to rise up, arms towards the sky. And then we'll head straight into round two, fold and forward. Inhale here, halfway lift. And then coming to your plank pose. This time lowering down to a chaturanga. And yep, we're going to try and hold this guy for a minute. So hover on your hands for as long as you can here. But a minute is a pretty doozy amount of time to hold. So when you need to, feel free to drop those knees down and give the body a little bit of support. Now, same deal here. We want to really engage the abdomen by drawing lower ribs towards the hips. And then we're hugging elbows into spine. Oh, I'm dropping those knees. Really working those triceps here. Press into the hands to lift up and out of the floor. Finding that length through the crown of the head and the tailbone. I know this is really hard, yogis. We're getting there. Got 15 more seconds. Can you breathe in? And breathe it out. One more round of breath. Oh, she burns. Good work. And lower it down. Woo. Okay, from here, let's press into the hands and lift up into your cobra or your up dog. And then we'll hold this for a minute also. So this is the hardest round. We're doing the longest holds for this first session. And it just gets easier from here. So you put in the work, build those solid foundations, and then enjoy the downhill slope from that point. Now, in our up dog, we are clawing the mat with our fingers to help burst the heart through the shoulders. We're pressing into the floor with the tops of the feet. And again, think shoulder blades towards each other here as we lengthen through the crown of the head. And you draw the tummy button in towards the spine here. And then perhaps press into the floor with the hands a little more to lift yourself up and out. Who thought up dog could be such a strength-based pose? Nice, taking one more breath in. Ooh, and then breathe it out, coming through your plank, send it back. Well-deserved downward facing dog. Pedal it out here, sway. Take a moment in child's pose if you need it. That was a tough one. Well done. Okay, we'll look towards the front of the mat. Tiptoe, step, or hop, and find that halfway lift as you breathe in. And then breathe it out to fold. Round down to rise all the way up to standing. And then we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Nice, yogis. Okay, round two, we've got a 30-second hold this time. So when you are ready, breathing in, arms up, perhaps finding a little back bend if it's there. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift here. And then finding your plank pose, establishing that. And we've got just 30 seconds here this round. So how quickly can you nail that alignment? Find that solid, sustainable posture, dropping the knees if you need to. And then find that breath. We've got 10 more seconds here. Really nice breathing in. And then lower it down. We'll hold our chaturanga right here this time. Again, 30 seconds. Hover the knees for as long as you can. Dropping them when you need, but still focusing on hugging the elbows in, pressing into the earth with the hands here. Such good strengthening for those triceps. We've got 10 more seconds. Big breath in and breathe it out. Nice. And then lower those hips down. Pull the heart through, elbows back, upward facing dog. 30 seconds here. Breathing in and breathing out. Pressing into the mat with the tops of those feet. And when you're ready, press into those hands. Send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Lovely. Big breath in here. Sighing it out. And then look towards the front of the mat. Tiptoe, step or hop. Inhale into that halfway lift. And then we've got this hold. 30 seconds. This can feel like a bit of a break after that chaturanga. So enjoy, but do still make sure you're engaging the abs. Lower ribs to hips. And then perhaps finding that length through the arms there. Keeping the chin, finding length in the back of the neck. We've got just 10 more seconds here, yogis. Micro bend in those knees so we're not locking those joints out here. Nice. And exhale, fold. Ground to rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. Final round, just 15 seconds per pose. Inhale, raise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And then stepping back to your plank. 15 seconds is going to feel like a breeze after a minute here. But again, hit that alignment. Find the breath, find the drishti. Make this a moment. And then when you're ready, lower it down, chaturanga. And hold for 15. Three, two, one. And up dog. Holding here. If there's any discomfort in the lower back, please do drop down and find a cobra or even a sphinx here. 3, 2, 1. Send it up and back. Downward facing dog. Ooh, feeling it in those arms. Nice. Looking forward, stepping or hopping, finding that halfway lift. Arms straight out here if you're going for that variation. We've got our 15. Reaching through the ring fingers. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. Root to rise. Length, maybe a little back bend. And then exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Oof, okay. The heat is building. We're feeling powerful. We're now moving on to our sun bees. You guessed it. That means we've got a chair pose, an Utkatasana. Just close it. Just so the boys don't wake up. So sitting up for a minute here. Feet either together or hip distance apart. When you're ready, inhale, send those hips back. Restart my timer. Finding that buoyancy in the knees and the hips by yielding into the floor here with the feet. So we're really pressing into all four corners of the feet, using that as our point of strength. And then again, think ribs and hips towards each other here, length through the crown of the head. Finding that drishti, finding that breath, tapping into your inner source of power. That eternal well of strength that is always there and is more easily accessible when we're in alignment with our breath, with our body, with the world around us. The practice of yoga is the most amazing way to help us tune in and align all of those factors. So celebrating you for being here this morning. 5 more seconds, breathing in and breathing out, finding that fold. Really nice. Inhale here. We'll just flow through all of these. No more holds in plank or chaturanga. But moving through that vinyasa and then meeting in your downward facing dog, sending the hips up and back. Awesome. From here, yogis, inhale, right leg comes up and back. Good morning, LB. And then exhale, we'll draw that right knee in towards the chest. Hover here just for a moment. And then placing the foot between the hands. Okay, yogis, we're setting up for a warrior one. So we're going to place that back foot down. Find a nice wide stance with the legs. And then inhale to lift it up. Here, LB. We're here for a minute, so establish a sustainable pose. We do want to think train tracks with the legs rather than tightrope in warrior one. So we're giving the pelvis lots of space. And then again, lower ribs to hips. The length comes through the crown of the head here. Shoulders are away from ears. And we're gently drawing that right hip back in space, activating those glute muscles here. Nice, we're halfway, keep breathing. As your breath out arrives, coming onto the ball of that back foot, finding your runner's lunge, and then step it back to your downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale that left leg up and back now. Exhale, drawing the knee into chest and hold it for a beat. And then we'll press the foot between the hands. Back foot sets us up for our warrior one. And when you're ready, inhale, lift. Find that nice sustainable posture here. So again, width between the feet. Gently drawing that left hip back. And you perhaps sink a little deeper here, finding that power in the legs. Drawing it up from the earth below through the feet as we press into the mat here. How are you this morning, Albie? Did the tooth fairy come for Ayla? She got. Ayla lost her first tooth yesterday when we were in the middle of the city. It was a very exciting moment. Nice, yogis. We've got 5 more seconds here. Breathing it in. And rotate onto the ball of that foot. Runner's lunge, then take a flow here if you've still got some juice left in the tank, or find your downward facing dog. Really nice. Next inhale brings us to the front of the mat, halfway lift. And fold. Finding Utkatasana, chair pose for a breath as we swoop the arms in. And then pressing into the feet to rise, Tadasana. Awesome. Okay, round 2, 30-second holds from here. When you are ready, send those hips back. Inhale, down and into your Utkatasana. Connecting instantly with the breath here. Thinking about connecting knees and inner thighs towards each other like you're squeezing a block between the inner thighs here. Nice, LB. You bend your knees nice and deep. Good boy. Like you're sitting on the toilet, buddy. Breathing in here, yogis. And breathe it out to fold. Moving through your flow or stepping straight back to your downward facing dog. And then once you arrive in your down dog, inhale right leg. Draw the knee into chest and place that foot down. Setting up for your warrior one. Inhale to rise up, drawing that right hip back. Length through the spine, shoulders dropped. 30 seconds here. Often in a vinyasa style of class, we flow through the movement, and that's amazing from a cardio perspective, but sometimes we miss the time to really land in the pose, to really connect with how it feels in the body. So the beauty of this style of class is that we can really slow it down, perhaps a little too much. We really get into those felt sensations. Nice, take that back. Downward facing dog. And then inhale, left leg up. Draw the knee into chest, place the foot down. When you're ready, warrior one, second side. Your arms get tired from holding them up. With the breath, 6 more seconds. Reach through the ring fingers here. Big breath in. Beautiful. And then flow it out or head to your downward facing dog. As your next inhale arrives, look towards the front of the mat, find that halfway lift. And fold it. Inhale, Utkatasana. And then press through the feet to rise. Really nice, yogis. Final round here, just 15-second holds. When you're ready, chair pose, inhale. And hold it. Draw the navel in. Lower ribs towards hip here. Weight in the heels. And fold. Halfway lift. And take your flow. We'll head back to down dog. Nice. Dog albeit downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Draw the knee in. And then final round here, warrior one on that right side as you lift. Just 15 seconds here. Nice. Hinge it forward, runner's lunge, downward facing dog. And then inhale, left leg up and back. Draw that knee. Place the foot, warrior one, final round, final side. Hopefully feeling that focused energy, that sense of grounding and presence that we can gain through stillness and holding of poses. As you flow it out, perhaps for a final time, or head back to your downward facing dog. Awesome work, yogis. And then from your down dog, dropping down to the knees, the glutes, and swinging those legs forward. Come to face you here. Wow, Albie, so strong. As you find a butterfly pose. Just kind of swaying side to side here. So here, almost as if we're releasing all of that tension, shaking off the night and getting fully alive, fully awake, fully ready for the day. Nice. And then we'll hinge forward and round back, finding some little spinal rolls here. So I'm holding that hinge forward if it's available to you. Hands can come to blocks, hands to floor, wherever works. So I'm just slow the breath down and extending the exhale. Beautiful. Lengthen the legs long. Draw the pinky toe back towards the face as we inhale, hands up to sky. And then exhale, hinging from the hips, finding your edge today with that straight spine. And then when you're ready, we can allow the head to round, bringing that flexion into the upper back here. As we're actively pressing through the balls of the feet, heels into mat, turning on those muscles of the legs. And it's the stretch, my darling. Beautiful. Hinge up when you're ready. Next inhale. Shaking that out, taking any final postures or movements that your body is asking for here. And then when you're ready, finding a seat, just revisit those little twists that we did. Start a class, perhaps exploring if you've got more range of motion now. And then coming back to center, big energizing breath in as we circle the arms towards the sky. Gathering in that energy around us, drawing the hands through third eye to heart center.